Hello again, friends. Welcome to Gamecock Central Radio. Emerson Phillips with Gamecock great Joe Rhett to talk Gamecock men's basketball. South Carolina, a winner over Tennessee earlier this week, and the Gamecocks are 3-0 in SEC play for the first time since 1997, Joe. The Gamecocks were number 3 seed in the NCAA tournament back in 97. Frank Martin picks up his 200th career coaching win and a big road win for the Gamecocks at Tennessee this week, Joe.
A huge game for the Gamecocks. Going up 3-0 in the conference, and right now they're just handling business. Defensively, again, that's their staple point right now, making it very, very difficult for other teams. I believe that they forced this Tennessee to shoot so bad the other night. I think they shot like 32% and like 1 for 11 from the three-point line on the other night. So even though, sometimes you see the struggles offensively for the Gamecocks, that defense is always there. Is always going to give those guys a chance to win in any ball game this year.
The Gamecocks jumped out to a 18-9 lead, and Tennessee started 3 of 15 from the floor, and they missed 9 straight shots at one point in that run to begin the ball game. So what is it about the Gamecock defense that makes them so strong, Joe?
Well, they close out on the three-point line, and I think initially they do some great film work. They take you out your initial steps. They try to make it very difficult for entry pass to the post. And they close out on some of, the way the game of basketball is going these days, not a whole lot of inside, but it's a lot of three-point shooting. And what Frank and those coaches staff down there are doing is closing out on three-point shooters, not making it easy, making them make easy contested shots. And right now, the defense is swarming. And when we have lows on offense, playing that tough defense, we can get some turnovers and get out and get some easy backs, and that's what keeps us going.
The Gamecocks would extend the first half lead to 27-14, but then Tennessee closed the half on a 9-0 run, and the Gamecocks led 27-21 at the halftime break Wednesday night in Knoxville. And then the Gamecocks came out swinging after halftime. Dwayne Notice hit a 3 from the right wing to cap a 7-0 Gamecock run that put the Gamecocks ahead 34-21. Hassani Gravett hit a three-pointer right in front of the Gamecock bench off an out-of-bounds play to put the Gamecocks up 10 with 12:51 to go, and the Gamecocks would go on to this win over Tennessee, 70-60 the final. The Gamecocks are now 13-3 overall, 3-0 in the conference. Tennessee drops to 8-8 and 1-3 in league play. 22 points for Sindarius Thornwell, 16 of those coming in the second half. Joe, you said earlier this week here on Gamecock Central Radio, welcome back Sindarius Thornwell. He had another great game Wednesday night.
Absolutely. He's once again filled out the stat sheet again. I think he had like 5 rebounds, 4 assists, and 4 steals, and maybe a block or 2 in there. He does so many different things for this Gamecock. Whenever certain players are not stepping up, that's the one guy, the one constant that he's going to be there. And that's what you expect. You expect your senior guy who's had so much hype when he first came to Gamecocks, one of Frank's first recruits. He knows the system, and he's truly being the senior leader out there. Whenever there's trouble, you know that you can go to Sindarius and he will lead this team to victories.
Thornwell stuffed the stat sheet again Wednesday night. The 22 points led the Gamecocks, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals, and 1 block in 32 minutes for Sindarius Thornwell. The Gamecocks had 2 other players in double figures. Hassani Gravett had 12 points, including a couple threes. He was 4 of 8 from the floor. 12 points in 19 minutes for Hassani Gravett, and it was 11 points for Dwayne Notice. Notice hit a couple threes also. The Gamecocks shot 7 of 13 from 3 in this win over Tennessee. Let me give it a rest of the individual scoring. P.J. Dozier had 6 points. Tough night for P.J., 2 of 10 from the floor in just 19 minutes, and he fouled out of the ball game. 5 points for Mike Kotsar, 5 points for Rakeem Felder, 5 points for Justin Mackey, and 4 points for Chris Silva. So the Gamecocks 3-0 in the league and now getting ready to host Ole Miss tomorrow at the Colonial Life Arena. We got a 6:30 tip. Joe, Ole Miss took it on the chin against Georgia, and that's who the Gamecocks beat last time out before this Tennessee win. So Ole Miss is 10-6 overall, but they're 6-6 in their last 12. They started the year 4-0, and they played 500 ball since then. They're 1-3 in the conference, Joe. We talked about it earlier this week on Gamecock Central Radio. Ole Miss played Florida and Kentucky to open SEC play, so they've had a tough go of things with a difficult schedule. And, their backs are against the wall here, Joe. They're 1-3, and they can't afford another loss this early in the season in conference play.
Oh, no, they can't. when you look, like he says, look at the schedule, as of right now, they will be playing the top 3 teams in conference right now. I mean, Kentucky, Florida, and South Carolina on tomorrow. And right now, they are 1-3, and they had a very, very tough loss against Georgia. I believe, I'm not 100% sure, but I believe their leading scorer, DeAndre Burnett, tweaked his ankle in that game. He only had a few minutes in that game, and that's something the Gamecocks need to somewhat worry about. We have to go in with the same mindset as if this guy's going to play or not, and go in tomorrow and handle business. Even though we won a tough game, it is so hard to win games on the road in the SEC, but coming back home, you get that comfort zone and you get that feeling that, when the crowd is behind you, that we can win and just have that confidence. But can't take this team for granted. They don't want to go down 1-4 in the conference, and we should handle our business and go up 4-0 tomorrow. We just come out and do the things we need to do, play competitive defense, get some of these young guys. Young guys play better at home, and hopefully some of the young guys can give us some help tomorrow night.
This is Gamecock Central Radio. Emerson Phillips with Gamecock great Joe Rhett. We invite you to download the Gamecock Central Radio app. You'll find us on the App Store and on Google Play. To subscribe to Gamecock Central Podcast, search for Gamecock Central Radio on iTunes, SoundCloud, and other popular services, or just visit radio.GamecockCentral.com. Joe, the Ole Miss game will be important tomorrow. You got to take care of business at home, particularly against a team that's off to a rough start and battling some injuries right now. Talking about Ole Miss, so important for the Gamecocks to handle business in this ball game, Joe, because next week the schedule really gets tough. Florida, middle of the week next week, and then at Kentucky next weekend.
Very important for us to handle business. It's so important, especially the whole serve at home on tomorrow, and just take one game at a time. Handle this tomorrow and go into this meat of the schedule, playing a tough, very, very tough Florida team at home next week, and then we'll travel to Kentucky next week, where it's always tough for anybody to win, not only SEC, but anybody in the country. But I believe if we handle business tomorrow, I think we will slide back under the rankings on Monday morning or whenever the rankings come out. And as you look at the schedule, EP, I think that there is no team that I don't think we could, we should have a chance to win in every game. We continue to play the hard-nosed defense that we've been playing all year. And hopefully we can get our big 3 going. That's what I'm concerned about, getting the big 3 going, which I'm talking about Sindarius Stonewell, Dwayne Otis, and P.J. Dozier. If I get those 3 playing on the same page and having a complete game together, I don't think there's no team in the country that we can't beat.
All right, the Gamecocks are 13-3 overall, 3-0 in the league for the first time since 1997. That was back when Eddie Fogler was the head coach, and B.J. Mackey and Melvin Watson and Larry Davis and that crew were with the Gamecock basketball team. A great 2-year run for South Carolina basketball in the late 90s. And this 2016-17 edition of the Gamecocks rivaling those couple of years in terms of starts to the season and conference play. So the Gamecocks are 10-0 with Sindarius Thornwell in the lineup, and the Gamecocks getting ready for Ole Miss tomorrow at the Colonial Life Arena. So, Joe, 3 unbeaten teams left in the SEC. It's Kentucky, Florida, and South Carolina. Last year, the Gamecocks were 11-7 in league play. They were 10-6 in the regular year, went 1-1 in the SEC tournament, and that was not enough to get the Gamecocks into March Madness. But a lot of folks are speculating right now. I think the feeling is that 11 wins would probably get the Gamecocks into the NCAA tournament this year. A couple of good non-conference wins over Syracuse and Michigan in the month of December. So 11's the target, but no reason to set your sights at just 11. This team might be capable of winning more than that.
I truly think we can surpass that. This team is motivated. They know what happened last year. They thought it was cut short last year, and I think they're truly motivated by it. Frank Martin, those guys went out and improved the schedule a little bit. The resume is there. All they need to do now is just handle business, take one game at a time, and I believe that we can get in. We could be dancing in March.
Gamecock men hosting Ole Miss tomorrow. Then it'll be at Florida Wednesday at 6:30, and then next Saturday the Gamecocks will host the Kentucky Wildcats. So a big 8-day stretch here for Gamecock men's basketball. Joe, great talking hoops with you today. We appreciate your time.
Hey, no problem, EP. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
All right, that's my man Joe Rhett, Gamecock great, and I'm Emerson Phillips, and this is Gamecock Central Radio. Thanks for joining us for Gamecock Basketball Report.